Whether it's a sewer line or a new baseball stadium, local governments often have to sell bonds to cover the cost. But the budget fight in Washington, D.C. could make that fundraising so much more expensive, Bay Area residents may have to pay more or do without. If you believe a new stadium for the Rays is going to be built somewhere in the Bay Area in the next few years, you can bet it will be financed, at least in part, by tax-exempt bonds. Bonds are more popular than tax increases, and they're easy to sell because investors can collect their interest payments free of federal taxes. But that exemption costs the U.S. Treasury an estimated $140 billion a year. Some believe that's a tempting target for a Congress desperate to reduce the budget deficit.
I think that the consequences would be very dire for the whole country.
Tampa City Council member Harry Cohen believes if the federal government takes away the tax deductibility of bond interest, it would make essential projects like road construction, bridge repairs, and sewer upgrades more expensive.
It would cost the cities, the states, the municipalities much more to borrow money. And that would go right back to added burden to the taxpayers.
Essential projects may take longer, but they'll still get done. But what about arguably non-essential projects like a light rail system or a new stadium for the Rays? Harry Cohen thinks they will get a harder look.
For every increment that the cost goes up, you're going to hear arguments about whether or not the costs and the benefits equal each other out.
The good news is that Tampa's debt payment is just 10% of the total budget. The chief finance director says Tampa's better off than most cities when it comes to debt.
We have a very, very low percentage of debt outstanding to our overall capital expenditures, our needs. So from a credit perspective, the city of Tampa is very strong.
Well, Mayor Bob Buckhorn thinks it's highly unlikely that this tax exemption will be taken away as part of any debt deal in Washington. Still, the city has high-powered lobbyists actively working to make sure it doesn't happen.